This is the main command and power module to fit into the telehandler. So it's built up of several layers, and what I'll do is to run through each layer, building it up and trying to describe the best way I can to wire up all the circuits and what the commands do. So I'm just going to run through now the main components that's fitted into this unit. So we're starting off with the voltage regulator. We've got the power distribution, the Arduino Nano, the FlySky mini receiver, through to the motor drivers. This is the latest version of the base plate, and it has the steering servo mounting brackets attached to it. So from here we'll be building up from the older version. So I use a M3x10 nylon standoff and screw it into the front hole that's already threaded. The excess thread is trimmed so that it's a flush fitting onto the base plate. The base plate is only 1.5mm thick, but it's strong enough to hold that. The next component is the Arduino Nano support bracket. So this is designed to hold the Nano board into position in a vertical position so that we've still got access to the USB port at the top. So this bracket is held onto the base plate, and we're going to be using a M3x6 nylon standoff. So that passes through the left hand hole and screws down into the base plate, holding those two components together. So now we're ready to orientate the voltage regulator, which will be stuck down with double-sided tape somewhere in that position. With the regulator stuck down now, we've got the input leads coming in, and this will actually connect up to the battery. And on the output side we've now got 3 wires: battery, 5 volts and ground, and that will run through and connect up to the power distribution board. So the power distribution board has vertical header pins soldered onto a copper strip board. It also houses a 5-volt buzzer and a switching transistor with a trigger lead that leads up to the Arduino Nano. So what we'll do is have a look at the schematic. So the battery is connected to the voltage regulator. It's passed through the regulator onto the distribution board and then goes up to the motor driver. It then carries on and feeds the Arduino Nano, the V-in. The 5-volt rail from the voltage regulator feeds the motor drivers up to the VCC terminal. It also feeds the carriage servo driver, the steering servo and the flashing beacon. 5 volts is also supplied to the buzzer, the cab light LED and the quick hitch solenoid. The ground connection for the buzzer, the solenoid and the LED are all on a common rail. These circuits are activated when there is a high signal applied from the Arduino Nano. It passes down through the 100 ohm resistor onto the base of transistor 1 BC337. This will then connect the switched ground to the common ground and return the circuit back to the battery. So just a quick look at the track side of the distribution board. This deck is where the distribution board attaches to. It will be fitted onto the top of the M3 risers using M3x5 countersunk head screws. But before this is fitted, 6 M2 screws are screwed through the deck so that they protrude through the other side and help locate the next layer, which will be where the motor drivers are situated. So once the motor drivers are located on that deck, that will be slid over and located on those screws. The deck is now attached to the lower deck onto the M3 risers using the M3 countersunk head screws. With the screws installed, the distribution board then is slid over the longer studs and attached using an M2 nut on the shorter stud. So there we are, that concludes this section of the voltage regulator and the power distribution assembly.